Hi guys, I hope you're well. So today we're going to do a really crucial video, okay? We will get to the next chapter of the book, What Men Don't Want Women to Know, but this takes priority right now, and it kind of actually ties into that book because it talks about, I've talked about how men are obsessed with sex. Some women are too. But when men are notoriously obsessed, and some get off on, because they're not right in the head, they get off on taking it against your will. Okay. There are actual, I forget what they're called, but there are protective little covers for your cup when you're in a bar, just in case you turn your head to talk to somebody, your drink is covered, because it only takes a split second of you not paying attention and someone dropping something in your drink. You could actually get them on Amazon. Just look for glass covers for the bar or whatever. I don't remember what it's under. If I find it, I'll post it. But I saw it accidentally. I wasn't looking for that because I don't drink alcohol. But I'm like, what? They actually had to come up with that? So it gives you a sign, right? And then there's trafficking, not just child trafficking, but there's trafficking with women as well. And it seems to be so innocent, and the person has a crisis and they need your help, which chances are they may not need your help. It depends on the situation. But if something's telling you that it's off, people know that people with sense knows that other people are going to be leery of situations where they don't really know what's going on. They just know what you said. Okay, like I'm going to post the video. The creator's name is called No Way Sis, and honey, I came across this video pertaining to women's safety, and every woman should watch this video. Every woman has been in a situation where she's dealt with a predator. Every woman, whether she knows that she was being targeted or she doesn't know she was being targeted. Okay? I remember I worked for someone who has an obsession with boobage. I don't know why. They don't do circus tricks. Let me see. Jump up and down, twirl around, circle. Doesn't happen. They don't do that. But for some reason, people, they're just gobs of fat. But somebody's just thrilled and excited about it. It's weird. Okay, that's all they are, is gobs of fat. But somebody just like, ugh. Anyway, makes no sense. But a lot of things men do don't make sense to me. But I was at work, and I had to change my shirt because when I went home for lunch, I think I spilled something on my shirt and it made a stain. So I had to change my shirt. When I went back to work, he acted like I slapped his mama. Why'd you change your shirt? Because I had a stain on it? Oh. But he looked at me like, did you just hit my mama in front of me? I'm not kidding. Like, I insulted the absolute hell out of him by changing my shirt. So you already know what that's about. Another time. Y'all need to be careful in libraries, because the story I'm about to tell you pertains to my safety was in jeopardy in the library. And thankfully, thank God, I had my mace with me. Some people are extremely bold. Extremely bold. Okay. You're in a library. The section of the library that you're in may not be occupied by anyone else. It's nice and quiet in there. There's nobody there. And some predators will consider that an opportunity. So I go to the back part of the library. It's super quiet back there. No one's going to bother you who's normal. Okay? Keywords normal. No one normal is going to bother you back there. Everybody's doing their own thing except for predator. They're there to find new victims. You'd be surprised. So I go back there, and one of the favorite places that I like to go is in the back of of that section. And I went back there, and there was a brother back there, a black guy, and they're extremely bold. I don't care what nobody says, they're extremely bold. White guys can be bold depending on the guy, but usually they're more clandestine with the shit they're trying to do. Black guys are going to be all up in your face. It just depends on the situation. But in this case, he was just way overboard. So I glanced in the back where the desk was, and he was back there. So obviously I can't go back there because we give normal people, caveat, normal people, we give each other our space. So if someone's over here, I'll go over there. If someone's in the front, I'll go in the back. If someone's in the back, I'll go to the side. We usually give each other space. And he wasn't about that life. Okay. So I looked back there, I seen him, and he saw me, and he was like, he didn't have a facial expression, but in his mind, yay! Yeah, I'm not the one, brother. So I went in the front part of that private not really private section, but it's real quiet. I went there, and there were 2 chairs, and I sat in one of the comfy chairs and, started checking out my book or whatever it is I was doing at the time. And he came in. Not only, let me see, what happened first? Okay, what happened first was, I gotta backtrack, sorry. I started looking for a book. One of my favorite writers authors is Nora Roberts. And I was looking for one of her books, and I think I remembered what aisle it was in. Well, every aisle I ended up in, he popped up in that same aisle. He wasn't saying anything, but he just magically popped up in the same aisle I was in. So I already know what's up. Nobody's going to be, okay, again, no one normal stalks you everywhere in the library. It's just creepy and weird. So when I realized what was going on, I went and sat next to, there's these 2 chairs and a table. And he decided to sit right next to me in the opposite chair. So they're sitting next to each other like this. And there's like a table. I think there's a table in between. I can't remember. He sat next to me because he's trying to force me to have conversation with him. So I'm not talking to him. So that's a problem. So he decides in the library to turn on loud music, turn his cell phone up loud. So he can force conversation between us, some type of interaction. It's not the first time I've been through this at the library. By the way, we'll get to that in a minute. And I took my mace out of my purse and held it in my hand, ready to be used, and I walked out. My mace is real obvious. It's a neon color. So even if someone doesn't know what it is, they're going to be curious as to what that is, because it's bright. You could see it many miles away. And that was the end of that. Another time, there was someone that I knew for a couple of months. I realized he's a predator. I'd unfortunately introduced him to a friend of mine. He became a predator towards her too. I didn't even know this was going on. I had a history with this person popping up at my house. Oh my God. He didn't have a car. And that don't stop him, honey. If you live he lives on the East Coast, you live on the West, he'll walk all the way to California to harass you. He don't give a shit. He's just off. And I didn't know the extent of how off he was until I finally got rid of him. And then things just blew up. And he'd stroll over to my friend's house when I wasn't there. And can I water your plants for you? Can I pray for you? That's another thing that some predators will do. Can I pray for you? I want to pray for you. God wants to help all his children. You better go sit down some goddamn where. Ain't no woman gonna ask, normal women don't ask strange men, yeah, why don't you come to my house and pray for me? You better pray for yourself because I'm not playing with you. I had gone to, before this blew up, I had gone to not Acapulco. Where did I go? To the Ethnic Festival in Kansas City. They have it every year at Swope Park. I'd gone there. My friend didn't tell me that he sashayed his ass over to her house. He's got bionic ears. If he hears your conversation with somebody else, he's listening to everything you all are saying. He's got bionic ears, I swear. I don't care if you whisper. I don't care if you whisper in each other's ears. He hears everything. I didn't know that till later, too. When I went to the festival, I found out after the fact, oh, by the way, my friend told me we're no longer friends. She's off, too. We're not going to go there. I did a video about that a long time ago called When Your Friend Hates You. Anyway, she said, oh, yeah, he came over here when you went to the festival. I said, what? Why didn't you tell me? She said, because I didn't want you to leave the festival. I know how much that means to you. I was very protective of her because I cared about her and I didn't know she was loose in the head. I didn't know. I knew she was off, but God knows I didn't know to what extent. Just like with him, I didn't know to what extent. So he started sashaying over my house probably every, I don't know, 6 months or so. I call the cops. He don't care. Some people are the type that you call the cops and they love the attention that the cops are giving them. I know that's bizarre. Most of us do not want to deal with under that type of scrutiny. He loved it. They're like, leave her the hell alone. Okay. And then he tries to become friends with the cops by having small talk with them because his fake charm, he thinks works with everybody. You think cops aren't used to the fake charm? What planet are you on, bro? Anyway, so I'm in the library and I had just, at that particular time, and just before the holidays, predators will target you as well. Thanksgiving, New Year's, or Christmas, New Year's, Valentine's Day, just whatever. Your birthday, they will sashay back into your life so that they can make you a victim again. Because you feel softer now in your spirit because it's a fun time. Holiday, birthday, whatever the case may be. I'm in the library and I had just finished telling the lady in there. I saw him in there. And I told her, he wasn't bothering me at the time. And I told her, he's been stalking me for a long time. And he, pretends to be a nice person and he's not. Anyway, so I'm sitting on the computer. She made a mental note of what I said. Mind you, I had told another broad there about him and she said, that's between you guys. That's when I got angry. It's not the same person. It was a different lady that helped me that one day. But this bitch said, that's between you guys. I said, no, it's not going to be between us because when I call the cops and the cops come in, it's going to be between everybody because everybody's going to see what's going down. So that's where you're wrong. She didn't have anything else to say after that. Bitch. Anyway, women need to have each other's back because men hate us. Okay? Most men hate us. A lot of men hate us. Some are normal, but honey, that's a handful of normal. Okay? I'm sitting on a computer minding my business, staying away from his ass. And he sashays over to me and starts running his face. And without warning, I just yelled in front of God and everybody at the top of my voice, "Get away from me!" And that scared the shit out of him. And he sashayed and hid somewhere. Didn't leave the library. He ran and hid. We didn't even know where he was. Well, the lady knew that I had issues with him in the past, and she hurried up. She was the opposite of Mary in Warrensburg Library, whatever the hell. Mary, bitch. Need to be punched in the mouth, Mary. Anyway, the other lady came and got me, and she said, come here, come with me right now. She's smart. She took me in the back offices where you're not allowed to go. It's just personnel only. She called the cops because I was in freeze mode. She called the cops. Cops came. They did a search around the library, couldn't find him. And she's so smart. I don't know her name, but girl, I love you. Okay, thank you for having my back. She said, did you check the front rooms? He said, I didn't even know you had front rooms. That's what the cop said. She said, yeah, they're right there. Check those rooms. He was hiding in one of those. Cops escorted him out. They asked me questions. I said, I've had a long history with him. I have to call the cops, you guys all the time, because every so many months or so many times a year, he comes harassing me again. Now, if you're a cop, you're going to be smart enough to know, oh, wait, she got a long history with this person. Okay, let me write some more information down, because I need to make sure that she's got a trail of paperwork. Not to say that's going to save your life or anything like that. But when you have to take this person to court, that paperwork's going to hold a lot more water than if you don't have, paperwork. Don't you know he never did file a police report? The cop did not write up a police report? When I found that out after the fact, I had a meeting with his boss, the chief of police. And we had a great conversation, and he was wonderful. This is in Warrensburg, Missouri. He was wonderful, the chief at the time. I don't know if he still is the chief. He said, I will address him on that. I'm not sure why he didn't write a report. I said, when you have this is common sense. That's what I told the chief. I said, this is common sense. If somebody has a long history with somebody, the more paperwork, the better. And he had a chit chat with him about that. He also told me I had an exotic look. Nothing sexual, nothing out of line. We were talking about something pertaining to looks, and he said, you have an exotic look. And I don't know. He did it in a complimentary way, not in a way of, so, can I get with you? It wasn't weird and creepy. He was a professional. He just gave me a compliment. He didn't take it any further. Here's my number. Call me. Non-related to crime. Give me a call, girl. Hey. He wasn't like that. He wasn't creepy and disgusting. And then this issue, and then one time, the same one who gets off on being in the center of attention with cops, I went to the library, knew he was there, so I left, and he came running out of the library and bellowed at the top of his voice for me to come back over there. Oh, yeah, let me sign up for that. Hold your breath, weirdo. By the time I finally... hold on. And then he sent a guy to my house. I was extremely sick. He sent a friend, his friend, who doesn't know that he's a predator. And he's pretending to be religious with this guy. The guy's Muslim. He wants to change to Christianity. And Mr. Predator is teaching him to be a good person, a man of God. And I'm going to show you the Christian light and the Christian way. Not exactly. He's a predator. They know the Bible too. The devil knows the Bible frontwards, backwards, and sideways. Okay? Don't fall into that fake Christianity crap. Anyway, if the person's a predator. So he sent his friend to my house. He wants to know why you won't talk to him anymore. Because he's not who you think he is. He said the same about you. I said, of course he did. And that was the end of that. Sent a married man to come to my house. And I was extremely sick that time. I had fibroids, which are tumors, non-malignant tumors in my uterus. I was so sick. And I had tons of them. So my uterus was huge. I had no idea how big it was because I didn't feel it externally. I felt something firm when I would press on my abdomen. I could feel something firm. But I had no idea what was really going on until my primary doctor sent me to a GYN. GYN did an exam, and the rest is history. I had to have surgery. Bear with me. I hate doing that to you guys, but it's warm in here. It is really toasty. Yeah. And another time when I was a kid, I was on a drill team. Oh, that feels better. I was on a drill team. And I was a kid, teenager. And went in the bathroom, to do my thing. As soon as I was finished, I didn't know this at the time. Give me a second. I didn't know this at the time, but I guess he enjoyed watching me use the restroom because he's twisted. And when I think he was standing on the toilet in the cubicle next to me, standing on top of the toilet watching me. So when I came out, this man is probably, I don't know, I was a teenager. He was probably late 40s, 50s, something. I'm not really sure, but he was a much older person. And not that the age matters, but that's like super creepy that you've probably been doing that your whole life. You're sick. And I came out of the stall I was in, and he was against the wall, and he held me against him. And I could tell he didn't know what to do with me. That happened again with another person when I was in high school. And he let me go. I didn't tell anybody. When you grow up in a traumatic situation, one thing that your family teaches you when you're getting beaten all the time, you're getting abused all the time, one thing that they teach you is what goes on in this house stays in this house. Unfortunately, that gets programmed so deep into your brain that when something does happen, I gotta go soon, but when something does happen, you keep it a secret. And I did that a lot of times. And with the predator at the one that didn't have a car was walking everywhere, I eventually finally got done, fed up with calling the cops all the time, and I just went ahead and tried to get a restraining order. Once he was served papers, you have to have their physical address or where they're staying. You have to have a physical address in order to be able to file a restraining order. And then you both have to go to court, which the minute he was served papers, honey, he was in the wind. He was in the wind because I started stalking the stalker. I went to his house at night with a cop to find out his physical address because it wasn't on his house. You know, it wasn't on the door or anything like that. And I said, can you help me find out what this address is? Because I need to file a restraining order against this individual. And he either heard me when he was hiding in the house, or because he's got bionic ears, he hears everything. Okay. I got the address. I had a court date, and honey, he was in the wind. He was in the wind. I've never seen a poor person be able to move, relocate. He relocates from different states. He used to live in Florida, and now he lives in Missouri. God only knows how many states. Where are you getting all this money to relocate from? Because he's more poor than church mouse. Anyway, he was in the wind. Once he realized, I'm not playing with your ass. He was in the wind. A guy attacked me in high school. I talked about that a long time ago. He did the same thing. He tried to yank me downstairs into the basement of the school. He held me again in the corner of the wall and pressed himself against me. And to this day, I could feel him breathing on the back of my neck. Someone came through the doors, and I didn't do like girls do in a movie. And they fall. No, baby. I don't care if you're wearing 15-foot high stilettos. You better run. Take them sons of bitches off and run. And those are great weapons, by the way. You know, in the movie, the monster's always chasing the girl, and she turns around, looks, what are you looking at? What are you looking at? Take off, girl. And if he attacks you again, take them shoes off. Bam, right in the eyes, the throat. Let's go. Anyway. Nowadays, we've got child trafficking making billions and billions of dollars. We've got adult trafficking making billions and billions of dollars. I'm going to post this very important video underneath this. I'm also on hold for a book by Gavin de Becker, which they will talk about it in the video that I'm going to post. And the name of the book is The Gift of Fear. When your body tells you something's going on, you got to pay attention to that. The Gift of Fear by Gavin de Becker. He's an expert on all things security related, and he wrote this book. He's also a billionaire. He wrote this book, Gavin de Becker, and it's The Gift of Fear. I'm going to tell you this quick story, then I'm going to go. So I was in the park yesterday. And this particular part of the park is isolated. No one's there. It's all woods. It's the same park I got lost at. Okay. And yes, I'm being more careful. And yes, I will that's my next goal, to get a compass. I'm never lost because I stick to the path, but that particular time I was lost, I didn't stick to the path and I lost my, whatever. I just couldn't focus on, I don't know where the hell I'm at. And anyway, I saw in an isolated part of the woods, I saw something that looked like a blue tarp. I did not feel panic in my body. My body, your body, our bodies are a great indicator of when something feels panicky or off. Listen to that. Don't worry about being rude to a stranger or, well, I don't want to tell him get out my face because he hasn't done nothing wrong. I don't care if somebody's, look, if something's telling you it ain't right, it's better that you hurt somebody's feelings than you end up in a situation that's permanent and you're 6 feet under. Okay, the hell with their feelings, especially if they're doing something stupid. Like a guy chased me. I was using a motorized cart in Walmart. A guy chased me. He was a black guy, of course, because they're bold, and he's jogging after me. Hey, is there room for me on there? Again, I need to bring my mace everywhere I go. Okay. Anyway. So I looked at at first I thought it was a blue tarp, and then I realized maybe is that a tarp? I don't know what it is. I made my way over there and I'm like, I don't need to see something that is going to be in my mind for the rest of my life. But at the same time, if that belongs to a person, if there's a deceased person there, their family needs to be able to give them a proper burial or whatever. And if I have to risk seeing something, then, I'll go to therapy and I'll get that resolved if I have to. So I went over there. I had no fear in my body or panic. I was just leery because it is creepy. And I went over there and I'm like, oh my God, I don't need to see nothing crazy. Please, I don't need to see nothing crazy. Because it was big enough to be, the way it was folded, it was big enough to be obvious, but it was too small to be a person. So it could have been, I'm not trying to be gross or nothing, but it could have been, you know what I mean? Not a full person, if you get what I'm saying without me coming out and saying it. Y'all know what I'm saying. And I don't want to, disturb a crime scene if that's what it is. I lifted it up and there's nothing underneath it. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, God. Thank you, God. That was creepy, though. Creepy. Very creepy. We have to do things that men don't have to do. We have to be more aware of our environments, more so than a man. We have to, and I said under the video, I said, ladies, control your hormones. Stop letting people you don't know go to your house right away. You don't know this person. I don't give a damn about your hormones. Knock it off because you're going to be dead. Think. You don't know this person. Okay? You don't know this person. You don't. I'm going to go to his house or let him come to my house. You don't know this person. You better chill out. And I've said this before and I'll say it again. If you're that goddamn hot, there's toys on Amazon. Okay? And they're not going to take your life or assault you. You better think and stop being stupid. Because back in the day, we would never have done that. And people have gotten so lax now that look, we're in too dangerous of a world to be lax. I don't want you paranoid, but I want you to be smart and careful. Got it? Good. Love you guys. Take care.